Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you how to set up a very good trip to the Maldives. It's the dream of thousands of people. We made this dream come true and it's an amazing place. It took us a long time to get there. We visited several places in the world because of our travel company, but it was really the #1 place. It's the most amazing place we have ever been to. It's a place worth investing in, worth planning a nice trip. If you can afford to travel to a place like this, people invest in it because it is surreal, from another world. So we will give you all the tips here, the step-by-step of everything, of course, everything you need to know to set up your trip to the Maldives. So it will be quick, useful, and no boring tips. So guys, like the video, don't forget to give us the like, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, we decided to make this super complete video focusing on those who want to make a trip to the Maldives, those who can afford to take a nice trip, get a nice hotel. Why am I saying this? Because there is a way for you to travel much cheaper to the Maldives. There are the public beaches that I will explain here, much cheaper hotels. There are several tips that make it possible for you to have a much cheaper trip, but it doesn't have that glamour, luxury, the bungalows of the hotel, of the resort. So for those who are focused on this kind of economic travel, if you can only really travel cheap and you want to travel cheap, watch our video on how to travel cheap to the Maldives. Search that on YouTube, how to travel cheap to Maldives. Gabriel, we made a step-by-step video just teaching you how to make a cheap trip. This one will focus on a nice trip. For those who can invest a little more, the first Maldives tip is the basic one, how to get to the Maldives. Many people don't know the Maldives is in Asia, near India, near the Middle East. It's a remote place that's difficult to access for most people in the world. In South and North America, even from Europe, it's a little bit far away. So you have to understand how to get there. To get to the Maldives, you need to get off at the Malé airport. It's an airport there, a small town, which doesn't have much to do. In fact, the airport is just to get to the Maldives. And the Maldives are made up of more than 1,200 islands. So there are a lot of islands. And what happens, some islands belong to one hotel. So for example, the hotel we stayed at, which was sensational, I will show it to you later, it's on an island that's just for it. So you only go to this island if you are staying there. Then after the flight to Malé, you have to take the seaplane or a boat, a speedboat. There are several transports to go to the island. So that's the logistics. You need to get to Malé, and then you will take a transport that most of the time is a boat, a small boat, or a speedboat. And sometimes, if the island is further away, it's by seaplane to get to your hotel. So you have to pay attention in all this kind of thing because that's how you go to the Maldives. It's all of logistics. But what happens? There are few countries that have direct flights to Malé, so you have to make a connection. There are several places where you can connect. The most famous are Dubai, which is what we chose, which was an amazing experience. I was surprised by Dubai. If you can, do it there too. Then it's 14 hours to Dubai, depending on where you leave from. Traveling with Emirates, which is one of the coolest companies in the world. Very good. We found the plane great. It's a 15 hour trip to Dubai. We stayed 2-3 days at the beginning in Dubai, and then we took the flight to Malé, which was another 4.5 hour trip. This is one of the most used routes, but there are several options. There are people who like to go to Qatar, there to Doha. You go there and then you take a flight. If 6 hours, it's a little bit higher, to Malé. A lot of people go to India, to Thailand. Thailand and India usually have cheaper fares. This stretch from there to Malé is cheaper, so those who are looking for a more economical trip sometimes look for this destination. And even Europe, if you have the dream, or you want to visit Paris, Frankfurt, Rome, there are direct flights from there to Malé too. What happens? Europe is further away. It's a little higher up. It will be about 7 or 8 hours of traveling. It's a longer journey. In my opinion, Dubai and Maldives was a perfect combination. It was great. The flight was super cool. So that would be my tip, to go to Dubai first. Spend 1 or 2 days there. Enjoy the place because it was amazing. I loved it. So if you can do it, I recommend you do it. Go to Dubai, then you go to Malé, and after you go to the Maldives. And guys, quickly, any doubt you may have about the trip, what to do there, how to get there, in short, any doubt at all, you can talk to us and we'll really help. We even prefer send it on social networks. Add me at Lorenzi. Send me a direct that I'll help you out, and be sure to follow us there because we are always traveling around the world, showing travel tips in a very cool way and the routine with our little ones, which are a blast. And now we have a new channel, Familia Lorenzi, here on YouTube. We are living in Orlando. We moved here a few months ago, and we are showing all our life here, the Disney parks, the food, the shopping outlets, the little ones that are the attraction of the channel. There's no way. Follow us there, follow the video, subscribe, you're gonna like it. And arriving at the airport in Malay, the transportation will vary a lot. If you get a nice resort hotel that's all it is on the island, usually this transportation is already included. Our seaplane was already included in the lodging, most of them are, but if you go to a public island or some other island that does not have it, then you have to pay for a boat, a transportation that's super easy, super simple too, to go from the airport to the specific island that you're going to. And now talking a little bit about the islands and the hotels, a very important thing for you to organize your trip and understand that are the private islands, which are those that are formed by only one hotel, so they have their own rules, it's much more liberal. And that are the public islands, which are islands where people live. Most of them have 300 or 400 inhabitants. There they have more options of hotels, inns and hostels nowadays. These are much simpler lodging options. They are very good hotels, that are very nice hotels, but they are public beaches. They don't have that glamour, the luxury of the private islands. Why am I explaining this? For those who want to travel with very little money, stay on these public islands. Those who want to have a more luxurious trip, more comfortable, stay on the private islands. What are the pros and cons? The cons of the public one, it is much cheaper, but because it's the Muslim region, they are very religious, so there are times when they close the shop so that they can pray, and on Fridays they don't open anything because it's their Sunday. You cannot wear a bikini or skirts except on the beaches that are designated for this purpose, which are called bikini beaches. There is no alcoholic beverages, which is a very important point for those who travel to a place like this on the beach to relax. So there are these negative points, and the positive ones on the private islands are all these. You can walk around in a bikini without a shirt because there are only tourists. Of course, you will moderate a little, you won't do anything absurd because there are people who work and others, but everything's much more liberal. So if you can afford it and you can go, our recommendation is that you stay on a private island of a resort hotel, that you will be able to enjoy it much more and without all of these limitations that I mentioned. An important tip, the choice of the hotel. Guys, this is the most difficult task because there are many good hotels there and many beautiful hotels. This hotel that you have in your head from the Maldives with those bungalows, multiply that by 50. There are 50, 100, I don't know how many hotels of this type, which is an entire island, which is that blue sea, many things. So you have to search, you will see that there are many, and the price change is very abrupt. Sometimes you will see one that's giving you a 5-day all-inclusive trip for $4,000, then you will see one that's $8,000, but you compare the two and stay, but they're the same. Yes, so you have to do a lot of research. There are many 5-star hotels with good prices, sometimes better than 4-star hotels, so research a lot. The variety of the resort hotels all inclusive is absurd, so check it out, see if transportation is already included or not. I'll leave below the link of a hotel that we visited, which is very good. It's a 5-star hotel near the Malay airport. It's 45 minutes by boat, so it's cheap, it's fast, and it's incredible. It's a super resort, a private island just for the resort. It's very well rated, it's incredible, and they have a price much lower than the other more famous, more luxurious ones. It's an excellent option. Take a look at the link below, enter the date of your trip, and see the price because there are promotions every now and then. And I'll leave the link of the hotel where we stayed. We ended up going with the company's partnership because we have our YouTube channel, our blogs, everything, so we get the partnerships with the hotels, but it's a much expensive hotel, but it's one of the most famous. It's amazing. We thought it was spectacular. It was the best hotel we have ever stayed in. It's incredible. It has a sensational level. There's a person who takes care of you the whole trip. Everything's impeccable. We had lunch, breakfast, and dinner included, so we didn't pay. We only paid for what we drank. I thought it was an incredible hotel, sensational. It was the best hotel I've ever stayed in my life. I had a look at it. It's from one of the most famous chains things there. So if you want to make the most of it, you want to have an unforgettable honeymoon, take a look. If you stay in the one we did, you can be sure you're gonna have an excellent vacation. And an important tip, the price also varies a lot. There are three things: the type of the lodging. You will see that these resort hotels, you will see that almost all of them have the normal room, which is much cheaper. It's usually just a beautiful room, nice, but sometimes it doesn't have a pool, foot in the sands. There is the second option, which is usually the beach house, which you have a room that's right on the beach. It's amazing, very nice. And then there's the bungalow option, which are the famous little bungalows that are everybody's dream. But this option is already more or less expensive. It varies a lot from hotel to hotel, but it's almost twice as expensive. We ended up staying. It was the realization of a dream. It was an incredible experience, but the price is steep. If you can afford it, great, it's worth it. Go, because you will never forget it in your life. But if you don't have such a big budget and you're going to be a little bit tight, get the house on the sand, or even the other one that's not on the sand, which is already sensational. Any option is very good. We are talking about the Maldives. It's the luxury of luxury. They have a different style of traveling than the others. Any option that you have is already going to be amazing, so you can decide which thing suits your budget there. And now for the all-inclusive tip. The all-inclusive, take it or leave it. You will see that some hotels have it, some don't. The thing is, you will be on the island, you won't have much to do, you will have to consume all the hotel's food. If you're a person who doesn't drink, who eats little, it's worth it if you don't go all-inclusive, because in the end it's cheaper. Now if you eat, if you like to eat, drink, like to have a few drinks during the day, take the all-inclusive, which in the end will be cheaper, because the food there is not cheap. The prices of things are expensive. If you are in the middle of an island, of course they will put the price high, because they know that there's nowhere else you can get anything cheaper than that. And guys, an important tip: to get to the Maldives, you don't need a visa. Dubai doesn't need one either. Doha doesn't need one. Most of these destinations do not require a visa for most countries, so check your nationality and the rules, but most of them don't need a visa. What is required for many countries is the yellow fever vaccine. You have to have the yellow fever vaccine certificate for more than 10 days. You cannot get it less than 10 days before your trip, so you should get it as soon as possible to make sure that you don't have any problems, because they check it right there at the airport in Malay, guys. Speaking of health, another very important tip: do not travel without your international travel insurance. Anywhere in the world that you're going to leave your country, make sure you have one. For Europe, almost all countries, and many other places in the world, it's mandatory. It's very important, so do it to guarantee it. It's very cheap. There is a price comparator that I'll even leave the link below in the description of the video. It compares the price of the best insurance companies and finds incredible prices. It's the cheapest place. We have been using it for years. We never found it so cheap. It's very good, very easy, very safe, and very cheap. An insurance policy for a 10-day trip that you're going to make will cost between $20 and $30. It varies a lot according to the coverage, but it's an excellent insurance that you will save a lot on problems. Be sure to take one. And now talking about the currency. What currency to bring to the Maldives? They have their local currency there, but it's very little used. What most tourists do is dollar, euro, and pound. Those three are accepted everywhere, so you get it. Or the credit card. If you activate your credit card, you can use it everywhere. But if you want to save a little bit, try to buy the currency before in your country. There's a very good website. I'll leave it in the description, and we always buy it online. It's one of the biggest exchange houses, so it's very easy. We always buy it. So our tip is to buy dollars. Take dollars. If you go to Doha, you take the Doha currency. For Europe, you buy the euro. See if you're going to get to another country with the Maldives, but to use there, the most recommended is the dollar or the euros. It was also very easy, and we did very well with the currency there. We had no problems, but you have to pay attention to that. First, you take a look to the country you're going first, and then you see what you're going to do to the Maldives. The tours are all included in the hotel. If you stay in a nice hotel, it will be very nice, because you will have all the tours available: diving, attractions, jet ski, several kinds of diving, a special diner, so you can do everything in your hotel. If you stay at a public beach, you can check with your hotel the tours that are available there and buy them. So when it comes to tours, it's very easy to get around there on the spot, different from the tourist destinations that we always say buy in advance. This website is nice, this one is not. Maldives is always easier if you buy and see everything directly with your hotel. You can get a little negotiation there and get a nice thing. And last, the tip about the chip. To use your cell phone out there, you will have to have a prepaid international chip, which is the best way to use your cell phone, the cheapest and the easiest, and the best also. We always buy it, we always travel with it. I'll even leave here below because everybody always asks the link of this chip. They are very good, they are totally online. It's an electronic chip that they send by email and it works very well. If you're only going straight to the Maldives, you will stay on an island in a nice hotel. There's no need for this because you use the hotel's Wi-Fi. Now, if you're going to pass through Dubai, Doha, or some other country, India, you need it because we use it a lot. In Dubai, we use it a lot, mainly to translate things, maps, to look up times, because everything is very different. So if you're only going to the Maldives, you don't need it. If you're going to another country, buy it and bring it with you so that you won't have any communication problems there, so that you won't have any difficulties. So it's very nice to have some. And down here in the video description, I'll leave all these links for you to plan your whole trip with the best services, the best prices. Check out the hotels we stayed at, which are very good. Take a look, the chip, the insurance. At last, it's all described here to help you in your planning for the whole trip. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, don't forget to give us that like because it's very important. Subscribe to the channel because it's very important. And check the other videos. I'll leave here on the side the playlist that has all the videos from the Maldives and the playlist that has all the videos from Dubai if you want to go there too. That's an unforgettable trip. Thanks a lot, guys, and have nice trips.